everybody, Jason here, and tonight I'm gonna walk through just kind of the prep work that I'm doing for the 61 bug chassis build. We've got the pan all finished, sound deadener laid down, and now it's time for reassembly. So check it out as we walk through how to basically assemble all new components to a chassis for the 61 bug. All right, here we go. So I got a ton of parts all laid out, ready to go. And there's no real, strong starting point or suggestion as far as like what to do first, what to do last kind of thing. But essentially what's going to happen is I'm going to go through this chassis and I'm going to replace, starting with the master cylinder. So you can see I've got a new master cylinder ready to go. It's a large bore traditionally these are really good for disc brakes and such. I like to run them even on with drum brakes up front in the rear. This happens to be, I'm kind of not 100% sure which direction I'm going to go. I actually have a set of disc brakes brand new ready to go, so I'm kind of setting myself up for in case I want to run disc brakes. So we'll see how that goes. But essentially what I'm going to focus on tonight, and I'm just going to do a time lapse on this, is new gaskets, starting off also with new brakes all the way around, meaning new master cylinder, new hard lines, new soft lines, new gaskets for the lines. I'm going to run all my cables and try to basically start eliminating all these extra parts here. I'm going to run my e-brake cables. I want to try to get everything pretty much run through this before I put the beam and the tranny on and get it off of these stands. So that's pretty much where I'm at, and what's going to happen over the course of the, I don't know, I'll play around here for an hour or so and see how far I get. But so stay tuned. Hope you like the end result. If I come across any aha moments, I'll stop and capture it and let you know where I'm at. So thanks for checking in. Hey everyone, I am approaching completion on the 61 bug chassis. There you go, I've got a bunch of crap laying all over it right now, but thought I'd give you an update. I haven't done a lot of check-ins over the last, week or so, but wanted to give you an update on where I'm at. So got the tranny mounted, installed, and ready to go. We've got the e-brake handle mounted but not hooked up yet. Shifter is restored and in place, and I started working on the disc brakes kit for up front. So got that working on that. I'm going to try to have that wrapped up tonight. Really almost done here. I found out I was missing a few parts, so I had to place an order for some parts. So hopefully those will be here later this week. But what I'm going to work on, and while I'm waiting for that, is the axle boots. Those old ones need to come off and then put back on and in the right spot. They're not set up correctly at the moment, so I'll get that set up the right way. And then really pretty much down to rear brakes. Going to rebuild the drum brakes in the rear. I'm not going to go disc brakes in the rear. I'm going to go drum in the rear and disc up front. And so I've got to put the bearings in the front brakes and then completely rebuild the rear brakes, and I'm missing a ton of parts for that. So but that's where we're at. Just about wrapped up. I think I might actually be able to wrap this thing up over the weekend, so have it on all fours and down on the ground and on to the next, so which is the body repair. So right now feeling pretty good about it, looking pretty good, and almost finished. So stay tuned. I'll check back with you again in a few days. All right, everybody, we are final stages on the 61 chassis build. It is December 20th, and it's cold outside, and I'm ready to be done with this chassis, and we're pretty close. So my goal today is to finish it, so I want to give you a walk around and let you know kind of what steps I've taken and what I've done and what's left. So here we go. Let's take a look. Here we go, checking in. Rear brakes. We got the rear brake drum finished up. New rear brake line. I'm going to go around the other side here because I'm going to show you what's going on with this brake drum. So, got the backing plate and all the new components put in for the drum brakes off the car, but also when I went to go put the backing plate back on, I replaced and got a axle seal kit on both sides, and I highly recommend that you do that. So if you've got this torn apart already, it makes sense to put new gaskets and new rubber in there as well. And it's they sell it by the kit. It's really easy to replace, and you know, it's not difficult, but now is the time to do it. So for me, I replace everything. So sometimes these wheel cylinders look good, but if I'm already in here, they're cheap enough to just replace them and go with it. I also replace all my springs and just buy the kit. So what I will say is, you know, and I was going to mention it earlier, but with all my hardware kits and pretty much lately, everything that I've been buying, I've been getting from VolksWerkin, and they are phenomenal. I've used them for years, and the quality of their parts are really, really good for the price that you'll pay. And sometimes they have some stock issues, especially as of late. I think everybody's having, you know, stock issues with the supply chain kind of being compromised a bit. But I'll highly recommend that you use VolksWerkin for really anything chassis related. I bought all my brake line kits from them, all my cables, hardware, really pretty much everything, with the exception of, I don't carry these, but I like to use these stainless steel brake line, the hose kits here. I actually get those from CIP1. So if you just go to www.cip1.com, they're expensive, but I really like them. And I like the durability, and I like making sure I've got a nice clean set of soft lines to go with the hardline kit that I've just replaced as well. So I run a dual master. Now if you buy a disc brake kit like what I've got here, a lot of times that kit will come with a dual circuit master cylinder, and I love to run that. I use the reservoir here, but then I also will drill a hole in the cap and put a rubber stopper in there and run the hard line back up so I can still fill from the original filler location in the front of the car on these earlier cars. So this will make more sense once the body's back on, but I love running with that dual master cylinder. Yeah, and just keeping this set up here with the reservoir on the top, and that way, especially right now, you know, with the body off, it's going to be really easy for me to bleed the brakes and get in there. So last step for me is to kind of go back through and finish up this passenger side rear. One other note is I've got a later model drum modified with 5x130 so I can run Porsche application, and those do not have the adjuster holes on the front like some of the early model drums do. And so with that being said, I want to adjust, and I've actually already done this, but I've adjusted my brake pads because I don't have any brake line fluid in the car yet at all. So I'm adjusting with the little star adjusters till I get just barely a snug fit with the drum on. I want that brake pad kind of basically causing a little bit of friction when I turn the drum right now, so that way when I get into bleeding the brakes, I'm not over adjusting the brake cylinder. That can cause the brake cylinder to pop out basically if you don't have them adjusted right, and cause a big old mess and a lot of heartache and a lot of lost time. So that's what I've done now. So now I'm going to kind of piece everything together. I got my parking brake cables all hooked up. Just finished doing that. Got them tested and got it all set up nice and neat. Oh, another thing I can kind of call out here, now I'm pointing it out. I sanded down the shifter and brake handle just by hand, just a rough, basically a rough, sorry, microphone fell out, but just a rough sand, just kind of clean it up real good and kind of knock off all the surface rust. But then I bought this VolksWerkin paint code matching rattle can single stage paint, and I love this paint. I might do a separate video on this whole thing, but this is really good stuff. It's really cold here right now. I would say it's 28 degrees here in mid-December, just before Christmas here. And I would probably wait to paint and get it a little bit warmer. I already did this a few weeks back, but man, the quality of this paint is really good. It's a little bit expensive, but the color match is pretty spot on to what I was looking for. I'm going to have a gray interior here, so I decided to go with a little bit of a light gray match, and this is really good. I also bought this in the correct color in the silver white, the L82 for my seat frames. So when I get ready to restore my seat frames, I bought a couple cans of this as well, so I can restore my seat frame. So really good paint. I highly recommend it if you're kind of on the fence on ordering it from them. But it is really, really good stuff. So anyway, almost done here. I think next step after I get this rear brake finished up is it's time to replace the axle seals. Old ones are still on there and garbage and gross, and so we'll get that all cleaned up and replace those, and I'll be pretty much ready to get the pedal cluster put back in, and that's about it. So we're almost done. So check back in if anything else exciting comes up, and call it out for you guys. So see you soon. All right, welcome back everybody. Wanted to give a final shoot around the chassis as I finished it up the other day, and just hadn't had a chance to get out here and kind of give you a good look at it. But chassis is finished. The only thing I've left to do, actually, it's not 100% finished, but it's close. I got to bleed the brakes, so just that's it. But right now, chassis is done. Got a 4-inch narrowed adjustable beam on the front. I've got it turned 2 clicks in the back, which gives it a pretty low stance as it sits without the motor or the body on it right now. So yeah, there she is. She's all done. So don't mind all the Goodwill bags of clothes on the side over here, but that's pretty much as it sits right now. It's not all the way down. The front beam could go down a little bit further if I wanted, but right now I'm going to leave it as is, and we'll wait until we get the motor and the body on there and see how she looks and adjust from there. So, but other than that, that is it. Ready to go, and now moving on to rust repair for the body, and that's going to be a project of its own. I probably will likely not document that. It takes a long time to put these videos together, and frankly I'm just trying to figure it out myself. So once I get maybe a little bit better at that, we'll start doing those kind of videos. But right there, she's all set. Alright, thanks for following along. Make sure you like and subscribe for more videos as I kind of put them together and put them out there. So thanks again for following along. Hope you enjoyed the ride. See ya.